All right. Hey there. It is Tuesday, October the 7th. It is a wet Tuesday, as you can clearly see. If you're not wanting to be outside, there's what it looks like. Saturated streets, soggy, a little slippery out there. As promised, it is pretty much a washout across the area. Not a whole lot of traffic out there either coming into work this morning in here to Extol Media Studios because of fall break. Happy and jealous to see all those fall break photos from Florida and the Gulf Coast. So good for you if you got to take a fall break. We are tracking just rain today, so keep the umbrella handy. Me, I'm not really an umbrella person. I don't know about you. I just don't want to take the time to open it up and close it up and have it wet somewhere. So I usually just get a little bit wet myself. I got the little rain jacket out this morning, but a pretty healthy amount of rain today. We're talking about 1 to 3 inch rainfall totals and the potential for some localized isolated flooding. There was a flood advisory issued not long ago for portions of looks like Meade County. This is kind of a broad area, Louisville, many areas along and just south of the Ohio River, includes Crawford, Perry, Harrison, Floyd, again, Meade, parts of Breckenridge, Hardin, Bullitt, Nelson. Again, just a large area of I don't know if you'd even be able to see it. So that is the flood advisory that's out. Not a flood warning or anything like that, just saying portions of south central Indiana, including Clark, Floyd, Crawford, Harrison, Perry, Central Kentucky, including Breckenridge, Bullitt, Hancock, Hardin, Jefferson, Meade, Nelson, Ohio, Oldham, Shelby, Spencer counties until 2:45 p.m. Eastern time. Minor flooding in low-lying areas and poor drainage areas. So just watching out for some ponding of water with, again, around 1 to 3 inches of rainfall possible. So just a wet one out there. We can take another live look outside with the Falls of the Ohio Foundation.org camera. Obviously, low clouds with the steady rainfall that we have throughout southern Indiana and Kentucky. And there you can see that big blob of rain. Right cruising along the Ohio River is this area of low pressure, and then lagging behind up to the northwest that you see, that's the cold front that'll move through later this afternoon. So we'll look at the weather models here in just a second, and it'll show Indiana drying out first, mid to late afternoon. And then if you like October weather, we've got an October-y feel on the way. We're talking about some lows in the 40s tomorrow night, a cooler weather pattern on the way. And then we'll look at the long-range outlook here in just a second as well. So if you are new to the program, this is Ben at 10. I'm meteorologist Ben Peine. Thanks for tuning in here on this Tuesday, October the 7th. You can always tune in to my page. We're on different platforms, Extol Weather on Facebook, Extol Media on YouTube, and extolmag.com/weather on the good old World Wide Web. So thanks for tuning in from wherever you're from. Also, even if you're watching the replay, drop in the comments. Let us know where you might be watching from throughout southern Indiana, Kentucky, and beyond as well. So, again, thanks for tuning in here on this lovely, gloomy Tuesday. Hey, good to get this rainfall out of here early in the week. Rest of the week, harvest homecoming, whatever you got planned, we are in great shape for the rest of this week. Mary Dale, good morning to you. We've got Beverly Haggis tuning in from Borden, Indiana. Orlean, always at the top of the comments list. Not a lot of rain, almost a half of an inch in Hodgenville. You'll get some more, of course, more on the way. And then Dennis Gregory, Bedford, a tad dampish again this morning. I like it. But did manage over 2 miles before it started. Very nice. And Lillian Lasley checking in with the live temperature report, 69 degrees at the house and raining. And Perry Porter with a good morning. All day, raining all day. I took the Yorkie out this morning and started pouring. Yes, my dogs don't necessarily like the rain as well. Got to force them outside sometimes to get out there and do their work out there in the yard. There it is. The biggest blob is right over. Oops, let me get back to the program here. So the this glob of rain right here is where we have the flood advisory, and then you don't have quite as much rain as you get up toward the Seymour, Highway 50 areas, and then you don't have quite as much rain south the bluegrass and western Kentucky parkways. So far, that's kind of the trend this morning. And then the cold front is still back off to the northwest as we do a little analysis here. And that'll move through this evening with maybe a few leftover little kind of thin little ribbon of some showers. And then, of course, we've got the cooler temperatures on the way beyond that. And we are going to take a look at some of those cooler temperatures. Let me see if I can bring up the temperature map across the United States and see if we just can't maybe find. Let's see how long it's going to take to load up some of these temperatures here. Shouldn't take that long to load up the temperatures. Let me do something else here. So these are the dew points. Look at that dry air, by the way. We got some really dry air, really some of the driest air probably since May. That's going to be dropping into our area. So take a look at that. Red is dry. You can easily see where the cold front is. Drapes really Chicago to Kansas City. So this is chilly and dry air. And this is the moisture that we have with the rainfall around the area right now. And then I'm going to try to, these are actually the temperatures as well. So looking at some 30s and 40s back out that way. Very, very nice. We've got a chill on the way. We'll need those warmer morning jackets here very soon for us. Let me try to get out of this and bring up where the temperature map wouldn't work. Here's the current temps. All right, we'll get rid of that. So there's the current temperatures. It also had, look at that, those 30s up to the northwest. We're not going to get quite that chilly. And let me get rid of that. It's still drawing on me. Stop drawing. There we go. There we go. Now we're working it out. So obviously you can see that cold front. So we're going to get those 40s that you see back off to the northwest, heading our direction here pretty soon. We'll do a live tour of the radar off and on here for the show this morning. We've got some weather jokes, rain related. We've got your weather history. We've got, again, the radar off and on. We're going to have the future radar. We'll go hour by hour. We'll look at the long range outlook, search for some 30s maybe later this month. So spend some time, sit back, relax. We've got Big Happy in the house to keep us charged up through the morning with the straight black coffee this morning. All right, so we'll get back to the weather maps here in just 1 second. We'll actually still do some weather maps, but we're going to take another live look outside here. Not sure if I showed you. Yeah, I did starting off, but here's another live look at the wet streets in uptown New Albany. Got a green light on Vincennes here. You can see some of the spray behind the cars there. So be safe driving around. Obviously, don't want a hydroplane out there. And this is a look at extolmag.com/weather. We've got the live show up. We've got colorful radar, live radar there. 7-day forecast, brand new weather story that I posted about the October feel we're going to have after today. No severe weather outlooks here for us. There are some things starting to happen in the tropics we'll touch on a little bit later. Bringing up the interactive radar full screen here. There's the big blob of rain over the top of us. The plot temperatures and all that fun stuff. Just a light southwest breeze across the area this morning. And you can also hit play. And then it will play for you. So Perry Porter, after today, I think we can say we're under no more drought. And I would agree with you. I mean, 1 to 3 inches, that should be a pretty good drought buster for our area. So there's a look at the unsettled weather that we've had over our area. Thankfully, nothing severe, just the potential for some localized flooding to watch out for today. So if I remove that, add this is going to show us the weather headlines for today. Rainy day, obviously, 1 to 3 inch totals. Drier later this afternoon for Indiana first. Takes a little longer for Kentucky to dry out. Can't rule out maybe a couple leftover little showers through early evening. And then 40s tomorrow night. And then a long, dry weather pattern will begin once again. Not the best for our play ball forecast with all the rain around the area. Temperatures will be held down in the lower 70s this afternoon, 100% chance of that rain, and a southwest wind at around 5 to 10 miles per hour. So got to have a gloomy day every once in a while, and we've got one out there. So that, again, is extolmag.com/weather, where you've got a lot of different weather tools right there. I'm just scrolling along live real quick. And I want to give a shout out to our partners here, Lions Roofing. Make sure that roof is not leaking. If you got any issues with your shingles, you might want to get the free estimate here online, lionsroofingco.com. LYONSroofingco.com. They got you covered on both sides of the river in Kentucky and Indiana over the Louisville metro area, 812-294-3595. They'll be happy for the rest of the week as we dry out. They'll be able to get back out there and start putting on some new roofs. If you go to Lions Roofing on their Facebook page, you can see a lot of the work. They do a lot of droning after their projects. And they got a roofing repair technician job opening here. Speaking of jobs, you can level up your job. It is Tuesday. That means it's Tuesdays at the Tech. You just go to ivytech.edu, the Sellersburg campus right here. Here's Tuesdays at the Tech, where you can get one-on-one information, in-person assistance on how to get started, registering for classes, career development, paying for college. So many resources here at ivytech.edu. And also, you might want to get a quote. They've had some auto renewal reductions. That means a reduction in your price at American Family. Tell Michael that I sent you 812-578-3072. And you can go to amfam.com, search Michael Long. You'll find his page right here, how to get contacted there. Also, libspaving.com. They are the top asphalt paving contractor around. They needed the dry weather to get their jobs done. We're going to get that back tomorrow. But I just want to mention they got a career section, and you can find more information if you want some available opportunities for you or a friend or a family member. There you can apply online. So thanks to all of our partners there. And again, as I was mentioning the tropics, there's some more tropical development. We'll talk more about that in a second, but let's get to it. Let's dig into the show. Let's take a look at the live radar scan, see who's getting the wettest out there. A lot of us are getting the wettest out there this morning. So this will take just 1 second to load up. We've got a couple more comments popping in on this wet Tuesday morning. Amy Jo Moore, good morning from New Albany. And Teresa Logston with a good Tuesday morning. And it is actually a good thing we're getting all this rainfall. Take a look. I'll bring this up full screen here. Lots of red. So from north to south, you can see it is drier for the moment in Bedford there for Dennis, Gregory, and Seymour around Highway 50. Then you go just a little bit farther to the south, and it starts getting wetter and wetter around Scottsburg. Cruising down 65, would have to slow it down there. There you can see those pockets of heavier rain. New Peak into Charlestown to Sellersburg, much of southern Indiana. Over to Milltown and English. I mean, everybody's about the same. You get in some lighter pockets at the moment in New Albany, but you can see what's on the way. More of that rain cruising along just north and south of the Ohio River, PRP, Valley Station, southern Harrison County, New Middletown, New Amsterdam, Brandenburg, getting in on some of that heavy rainfall into Meade County, where there is a flood advisory until 2:45 p.m. for much of this area. And then into Hardinsburg into Breckenridge County, lots of red across the region. Hey, but look, Bardstown down to Springfield, Lebanon, Campbellsville, Columbia. You guys aren't seeing a whole lot. There, Orlean and Hodgenville, they're just kind of skirting along the edge of some of that heavier rainfall. We've got a report of 1.62 inches of rainfall from Melvin Hardin from the Salem area. Yeah, healthy amount there. And then cruising down 64, you've got heavy rain through Shelby County, Henry County, and all the way to Lexington and up north up I-71 heading towards Cincinnati. A very wet ride as well. So there you go. Quick tour of the radar. We'll look at when this will start to clear out with the future radar here in just a second. I want to see if we can load up. Sometimes this works, sometimes it doesn't. The rainfall total. I don't want that. I want the total precip right here. So, okay, this is working. So this is what we've seen so far, rainfall total with this rain system. And so Melvin was saying around the Salem area, 1.62. Boom. Melvin is 100% correct, matching up with the radar there. Into Clark County, just some random spots. So it looks like a little bit heavier here in Harrison County. A little bit of a bullseye there. So there you can see as we bring this up full screen, anywhere from around 1 to 2 inches over much of southern Indiana so far. A little bit less up towards Mitchell, Indiana. And we cruise down. We got a bullseye of some of this heavier rainfall just southwest of Louisville. Again, southern Harrison County showing some 3-inch amounts. You can see around Brandenburg and Meade County, 2 to 3 inch amounts of rainfall there. Coming down pretty good, and it's going to continue again. So we might see some areas that overachieve, and we'll have some localized flooding. And as we work our way off to the south, the rainfall total so far, looking about an inch in Nelson County, around Bardstown, and Orlean was saying less there in LaRue County. And you're right, Orlean, less than an inch of rainfall, about a half inch there. And then you're getting into 1 to 2 inch amounts in Breckinridge County and northern Hardin County. So kind of the bullseye are the counties just north and south of the Ohio River so far. That's our radar total so far from the National Weather Service radar out of Fort Knox. All right, let's start to bring up the weather model data here. Actually, we haven't got to the forecast. Let's roll through the forecast, then we'll look at the weather models, and we'll be cruising right along here for us. So, as I mentioned, things are going to really improve for us for the rest of this week. That means great weather for Harvest Homecoming, the heart of the harvest, booth days, October 9th through the 12th. You can go to harvesthomecoming.com to learn more about that. Our countdown continues. Average highs in the 60s in just 12 days. Time change in less than a month. 26 days, we'll have a 5:42 p.m. sunset. That'll be crazy. Average first flurries, 39 days. Thanksgiving in 51 days. And Perry was asking, is it raining in Lafayette, Indiana? A little over an inch of rainfall for Beverly Haggist since yesterday. Thanks for those reports. And Perry, I can bring back up the radar and satellite since you are curious about northwestern Indiana. And yes, it looks like they've got the front moving through their area now. So right on the edge, there's Lafayette, and that rain just out to the west. So it looks like we'll have some showers moving through today. Not as heavy as us. We're kind of in the bullseye area. Oh, let me bring it up so you can see it. Here you go. So there's up here to the north. Here's Lafayette, Indiana, Purdue. Some rain just out to the west of there. So just some scattered showers as that front moves through today. But again, that heavier bullseye of rain right on top of us, where again, we have the flood advisory for today. Okay, let's get back to the forecast. Then we'll get to the future radar and all that fun stuff. Move that, bring this back up. So there's here's the weather history for today. I'll post it if we kind of cruise through this fast. We'll post this at around noon on my Facebook page. 1825, raging forest fires in New Brunswick, Canada, destroyed 3 million acres of the forest. 500 people killed due to the unusually hot weather in the fall and summer of 1825, coupled with outdoor fires from settlers and loggers. 1844, major hurricane swept over Jamaica, Cuba, and the Bahamas. 158 vessels were wrecked. 2,546 houses were destroyed along the Cuban coast. 2014, an EF0 touched down in Putnam County, Indiana, damaging some trees and crops there. 2007, record temperature of 87 degrees in Chicago Marathon. That led to the Chicago Marathon being canceled. To protect the participants, there was still one fatality. That's crazy. 2024, last year, Hurricane Milton's winds north of Cancun strengthened from 90 miles per hour to 180 miles per hour in 15 hours. Your weather jokes, your stupid weather jokes, which are kind of weather-related, rain-related. Why shouldn't you fight a rain cloud? It might bring the thunder. What does rain do before marriage? It precipitates. Precipitates. If you got to explain the jokes, they might not be so good. All right, did you hear that? We've got a bonus joke because these are so bad. We got 4 instead of 3. Did you hear the one about thunder? It's a shocking story. All right, this was here, this one was from popular demand. A lot of people sent me this one, so here you go. Why does Snoop Dogg always carry an umbrella? Faux drizzle. There you go. All right, on the allergy report, thanks to the rain that we have across the area, it's going to be pretty low, thankfully, so allergy sufferers might be feeling a little bit better. Here's our forecast today for your Tuesday, October the 7th, 73 degrees. It's a wet one, 1 to 3 inch rainfall totals. Watch for some localized flooding. No severe weather with this. Might get a rumble of thunder, but most of us probably won't. Southwest wind around 5 to 10. And our sunset at 7:16. Our days are getting shorter and shorter. 55 our low tonight, gradually clearing out. I think tomorrow we might see a few leftover clouds, but it's going to be a cooler start in the 50s and only around 70 for your afternoon high tomorrow. Here's your Wednesday forecast: 55 out the door, 65 at noon, 70 with sunshine for tomorrow, and average high is 74 degrees. Your 7-day forecast. We got upper 60s, low 70s for the rest of our work week. Lows down to the 40s, so we got some chilly mornings. And then just gradually a little bit warmer through our harvest homecoming weekend. Saturday, 75, easy for me to say Saturday. 77 on Sunday, and climbing back to near 80 degrees early next week. We might be kind of going into a little bit of a yo-yo roller coaster weather pattern, some warm-ups, some cool-downs through the rest of this month of October. We'll break out the long-range outlook here in a little bit once we start to dig into the weather models. But also taking a peek every now and again at the live radar. Here's the radar loop over the last hour and a half or so. And we've just got this slug of rain cruising right along the Ohio River. So it's going to take a little while to get out of here. And since we're talking about that, we might as well bring up the weather model data and the future radar. Here is 10:21. That's typically right on time when we start to really look at the weather nerd portion of the show. So we'll, as usual, we'll bring up the HRRR, the High Resolution Rapid Refresh weather model. This is right now. It's obviously picking up on the big area, the big blob, so to speak, of rainfall. We'll take this to 2 o'clock here in a few hours. There you can see the rain still over the area, but there is a back end to this system. Notice southwestern Indiana, western Kentucky starting to dry out here at 2 o'clock. We'll go to 3 o'clock. Look at that. We're starting to see that area of rain moving east of I-65, drying out west of I-65. And then here is 4 o'clock, much of Indiana looking drier, maybe just kind of some leftover little raindrops around that time. So improving conditions this afternoon. This is 4 o'clock. And then here is 5 o'clock. So late afternoon, we get a break in the rainfall, but we still haven't had the front move through at that point. Again, I think we might see just a little thin ribbon of some brief rain showers toward early evening. So we'll take this to around 7 o'clock. Notice that filling in just a little bit, the very back end, the tail end of the front moving through here at 8 p.m. So when the really steady rain starts to move off, say mid-late afternoon, we think it's all done. Well, maybe not. We still have the front that'll move through and give us a chance for a few of these little showers. This is around 8 p.m. this evening. And this here is at 9 o'clock. And then as we head towards midnight, pretty much everybody's going to be done with that rainfall. Now we bring up the NAM 3-kilometer weather model, another high-resolution weather model. I'm going to bring this back to now, and it's going to show all of that rain that we have all across the area. Cheers again from Big Happy, keeping us fueled up on our Ben at 10. So here we go. We're going to go to 2 o'clock, just like we did with the HRRR weather model. And there you can see looking a little bit drier out to the west. And then we bump this to 4 p.m. today. And it's pretty similar. There you can see southern Indiana drying out first, and a little bit longer with the rainfall over the Commonwealth, as this will be drying out kind of northwest to southeast overall. And then we take this to around 6 p.m. Again, you dry out for a few hours, you think it's done, and then we go to around 7, 8 o'clock, and here's the tail end little showers that could be moving through around 7, 8 o'clock on the very back end of that front. And then we dry out. And then we go into tomorrow morning, and we switch gears from rain to talking about some cooler temperatures on the way, and also dropping dew points. Some really dry air is going to be dropping in. So it is humid out there, of course, with the rain around the area now, but we got dew points that'll fall down to the 40s. We probably haven't had dew points in the 40s since May. So this is going to be some really, really feel-good weather. So there's just plotting out a few of those dew points. And then as we plop on the temperatures here tomorrow morning out the door here at about 8 o'clock, there you can see that chillier air dropping in from the north. So Canada wins for a little while for our area. As we, whoa, did a super zoom there. Plotting out some of the morning temperatures here. There might be a few areas that touch the upper 40s, but I think we're looking at mostly some lower mid 50s getting started tomorrow morning. So the morning jackets for your Wednesday, and then even chillier as we go into tomorrow night. I'll clear that out, and let's go ahead and jump ahead with the GFS weather model and bring up the temperature map. Try not to move the map around too much and make you sick here. All right. So this is looking at tomorrow afternoon. It's showing temperatures in the 60s around the area. We might top out around 70, though. Upper 60s, low 70s. Feeling fantastic. A wonderful Wednesday. And as we go into tomorrow night and into our Thursday morning, this is probably our chilliest morning that we'll have. Friday morning will be pretty chilly as well. But there you can see plotting out a lot of 40s here for you. So boom. Let's feast our eyes on Thursday morning. So the warmer jackets, the car heater, the furnaces might be turning on. Might want to think about switching out the furnace filter. Something I probably need to do. It's been a little while. And gearing up for the chillier season ahead. Looking a lot more October-y here for us for the next few mornings especially. And then we'll go into our Thursday afternoon. And it's got us mostly in the 60s. So again, upper 60s for our Thursday for most spots. Lillian, that's sweet of you saying, I like the jokes. And Robert Simpson, evidently fall has fell and summer has given up on its great run for now. Yeah, I would say so. I mean, even though we might get back to some lower 80s next week. Peggy Sipes with a good morning. Mike Siebert with the nice and a good morning. Cheers to you. Thanks for tuning in. Quite a bit of rainfall across the area this morning. All right, so that is that. Now, what I want to do real quick, then we'll get back to a live tour of the radar, is to start to move into the longer range outlook. And you know that means it is time for the good old Ben on a Limb segment. So we might have to go a little ways out to find 30s, but we'll do that. We'll stretch the GFS weather model out here. So let's just go ahead and take this into next week. I'll take this to Monday the 13th because the weekend is looking sunny, 70s. Notice as we go into, this is Sunday afternoon, the warm air is starting to surge back over the midsection of the United States. Look at that. Even some 90s out there. All right, so that's out west of us. We're talking 70s over our area. This is Sunday. And then let's see if some of that warmth will head our way. This is going into Monday afternoon. We're probably back around 80 degrees, upper 70s, near 80 Monday. Going into next Tuesday afternoon. Look at that warm air back across our area. And also, by the way, there's active weather in the tropics. The swirl right here would be maybe Tropical Storm or Hurricane Jerry, the 10th named storm, which is just in the developmental stages right now. So it looks like a tropical system could be off the East Coast into next week. Clear that out there. So this is the warmth back next Tuesday. Could be seeing some 80s returning to the area. Even look at Texas, still in the 90s. All right, so moving right along here into next Wednesday. The warmth is over us. Could be into the 80s there. So enjoy the October fall-like feel the rest of this week. Then next week, showing a warm up right there. But that warm up is likely ahead of a cold front. And that's why I say we're going to probably be moving into some roller coaster style weather. A lot of ups and downs. This is the 16th. So this would be next Thursday. It looks like we dip back down to some 60s and 70s, maybe some chillier nights. This is going into, I believe this would be next Friday morning, the 17th. There's some 40s popping back in. Roller coaster style weather pattern right there. All right, we'll take this. I think the models were showing around the 21st, 22nd. We might start to see a bigger change. So I'm jumping ahead here to the 21st of October. Yeah, and it looks like that might be when we start to see some chillier air working in. So again, this is the long range segment of the show. Been on a limb. We're looking down the road here a little ways. This is 366 hours out with the GFS weather model. It's hinting at a cool down. Look at that. Dropping in from Canada. So what does this mean? This would be the morning of the 22nd. I don't even really know what day that is of the month, but it is showing the potential maybe for some 30s at that point in time. But not terribly cold. It's not crazy cold. We typically get a frost mid to late October. Not sure if we will, but there you can see at least a chance at some chillier numbers across the area. This is going into the 22nd afternoon, showing highs in the 50s. And that's as far out as the GFS really wants to go. And this was like 23rd morning, it goes into some chillier 30s there. All right. So that's just a kind of a sneak peek at what we might be seeing late in the month. And for the rest of this week, after today, I don't see any rain for a long time unless something really changes with the weather pattern. But there's a look at maybe some chillier stuff down the road here with the long range outlook. And my friends, that has been the Ben on a Limb segment. All right, I'm going to pop up the live radar. We'll do another tour here for you. And I forgot to mention a little bit earlier that if you ever have a weather question, you want to get in contact with me, you want to connect, there it is. There's my email address, ben@extolmag.com, extolmag.com. If you ever want to join up for some business marketing solutions for you, Southern Indiana and beyond, we'll like to help you out. You can put your logos on our content. 1.4 million views on just my page over the last month. We can help you out. There you go. Ben at extolmag.com. Jason at extolmag.com. So let me get rid of that and bring up this. And let's bring up the live radar scene here. And we'll do another tour on this soggy, wet Tuesday morning here. And a drought-busting rain for much of our area. And a flood advisory for many counties along and just north and south of the Ohio River right now, by the way. The flood advisory goes until 2:45 p.m. Might get extended. There might be a little pocket that gets a flood warning. We'll see. It's kind of a localized threat for today. No severe weather threat, but just watching for the potential of a little bit of flooding out there. I had some comments popping in while I was yapping away. the puppy dog Vicky saying did her job and came straight in. Yeah, we're starting to get some paw prints. Paw print season is almost back from our three dogs. Still a little early to predict the weather for this upcoming winter. Yeah, and I would say, to be honest with you, it's always too early. It's always going to be inaccurate. A seasonal forecast, a December, January, February is never going to be accurate unless you just get real lucky. The forecast isn't super easy even past a week or two. Brian Bain, loving the cooler weather. Yes, indeed, sir. Thanks for tuning in here this morning. And Orlean saying, I hope for 70s on Wednesday the 15th. Might be in the 80s next week. We shall see about that. All right, and here is another look at that live radar, and we'll bring it up full screen for you before we do a recap of the forecast and then wrap up our Ben at 10 show this morning. But it's been a while since we had a morning just filled with rainfall across the area. And as we look at the motion of this, just kind of slowly sliding to the east, this low pressure system. So first we have this low pressure system, and then the trailing cold front will move through by evening time. Hey, Louisville, getting in on some of that heavier rainfall right now. It's coming down in buckets all around Metro Louisville, and that'll be sliding over toward the east end, Linden, J-Town, Anchorage, going to get on some of that heavier rainfall as it slides to the east. A lot of Harrison County just soaked, and you guys have been. I'm seeing radar estimates of around 3 inches over the southern half of Harrison County, and that will continue to pile up. So generally, I think we're talking 1 to 3 inch rainfall totals, but there could be some areas that get a bit more than that, some soggier spots. If we go from north to south, there's some rain around Bloomington. My daughter's probably walking to class a little bit wet up there. And then there you see a little shower over North Vernon. Hey, you got a little bit of a break here. Seymour, Crothersville, Medora, Mitchell, Bedford, and Paoli, and Salem. A little bit of a break right now before you start to get into some of this steadier rain in Scott County. And then down through much of Clark County, just really wet. And there you see the heavier rainfall rates coming down around Palmyra, Milltown, English, Harrison, Crawford, and Du Bois County, Perry County, very wet. Just a wet ride down 64 west of Louisville, a wet ride up I-71 as well with steady rain the whole ride up to Cincinnati. And then from Louisville to Lexington, it is also saturated. Watch for some ponding of water if you're going to be out and about on the roadways. And then we got some heavy rainfall now back down to the south through much of Meade County, Breckenridge, into Hardin County. Very wet for you there in Elizabethtown. Hodgenville, Orleans starting to get in on some of that heavier rain. And then not much happening here. There's just some, sprinkles and spots. Lebanon, Campbellsville, Columbia, some of the drier areas right now. The heaviest is really hugging the Ohio River, I-64, I-71 corridor right now. So there you go. Another tour of the radar. Another live look outside, too, at the Falls of the Ohio Foundation.org camera. Getting the Ohio River some water here today. There you can see the lower visibility with some of this good rain coming down right now. And Orleans confirming what the radar is showing. We're getting some heavier rain now there in LaRue County in the Hodgenville area. We can also pull up the Trimark cameras. Let's see if there's any issues. Looks like we got an accident here on the Waterson. Looks like that maybe have cleared. Crash here on 65 near. Let me go ahead and bring up some of these cameras. See if we find any slowdowns here. Looks like a little slow, 65 north to the Waterson. Like there might be a crash there, 65 near the Waterson right now in Louisville. I don't see a whole lot of red though necessarily. Maybe we're all driving safely out there this morning. Oops. Sorry, I'm trying to just. Oh, there's the Kennedy. And zooming out here into Indiana roadways, not seeing any red at the moment. We're in pretty good shape. This here is a look at 265, just west of I-65 there, the Lee Hamilton. Just a wet ride here for us, guys. And if you ever want to go to extolmag.com/weather, this is where we have our live stream up right now. You've got your interactive radar. Temperatures were at 70 degrees. 7-day forecast that I posted this morning. The brand new weather story talking about some of the cooler temperatures. Other regional maps. The drought monitor will be interesting to see Thursday as it updates. The big interactive radar here. We also have you linked up with the Indiana weather and traffic maps, 511in.org. You got cameras all over the place here with that and some weather stations as well. If you ever want to take a peek of the roads before you head out, obviously a lot of us have Ooh, that's just a look at the fall, the slowly turning colors of the trees. All right, we're just talking about a lot of wet stuff here this morning. That's what we're all about. But good, again, good to be getting rid of some of this drought weather that we've had across the area. And thankfully, it's a short break. We just had like 10, 11 days of dry weather in a row. We got the rain yesterday and today. That helps get rid of the drought for much of us. And then we're back to a long, dry stretch that could take us through the rest of this week and through much of next week as well. So we're just dealing with rain in these short little bits, and then we can enjoy a lot more nice fall weather on the way. I'll take it. All right, let's get back to your forecast, and then we'll start wrapping up this Ben at 10 show here. Rainy day, 1 to 3 inch total. Some areas could see a little bit more than that. Drier this afternoon, and then 40s tomorrow night. So a chill for our Thursday morning especially, and then a long, dry weather pattern again. Not the best for our play ball forecast with all the rain across the area, but by late this afternoon, after school, I think we'll see some drier time. But it is a 100% chance of rain for now. It's going to look a lot better for Harvest, the Heart of Harvest, the Harvest Homecoming Festival in New Albany, Indiana, the booth days, Thursday through Sunday. Fantastic weather for that. Our countdown continues. Average highs in the 60s, just 12 days away, although I think we're going to be in the upper 60s most of our day, afternoon, tomorrow, and Thursday. Time change in just 26 days. That means a 5:42 p.m. sunset. Average first flurries in about 39 days. Thanksgiving in 51 days. Got your weather history here. I'm going to post this on my Facebook page here at about noon. And then the weather jokes today. Why shouldn't you fight a rain cloud? It might bring the thunder. What does rain do before marriage? It precipitates. Did you hear the one about thunder? It's a shocking story. And this was by popular demand. A lot of people sent me this one. Why does Snoop Dogg always carry an umbrella? Oh, drizzle. Allergy report is low thanks to the rain, keeping some of the pollen down. And our forecast today, 73 degrees. It's just a wet one out there. Southwest winds around 5 to 10. Watch for some localized flooding. Tonight's forecast turning cooler as we dry out. 55, the low temperature. So a bit cooler tomorrow morning. 65 at noon tomorrow. 70 tomorrow afternoon with sunshine. A little bit below normal for this time of the year. Looking good. Wonderful Wednesday. Down to 46 tomorrow night. So definitely a chill getting started Thursday. Upper 60s for Thursday afternoon. 72 Friday. And then back to around normal as we head into the weekend. 75 Saturday. 77 Sunday. Just kind of a slow, gradual warming trend is where it could be back to around 80 degrees by next Tuesday. But for now, I've got an all dry 7-day forecast after today. So things, once again, on the up and up and improving after this wet spell here early this week. All right, bringing this back up. And we got a comment popping in from Lillian Lasley. Have a good day. Ben, Skeeter, Desi, and Annie like to go out and play in the rain. Trying not to have the wet dog stink around the house. Kind of unavoidable with this kind of weather. And I want to give a shout out. We can do what we do here because of our partners. If you have any issues for your roof, you got any shingle damage or anything like that, you don't want a leaky roof in this kind of weather, you can get a free estimate here at Lyons Roofing, Lyons. They're a family-owned company right out of Memphis. Good folks there. And they got you covered on both sides of the river, Kentucky, Metro Louisville, Southern Indiana. 812-294-3595 is the number to call to get some more information. Or you can go to their website. They've got a lot of information here. Commercial, residential, custom home builds, financial help, all of that good stuff. And you can get to know them and see a lot of what they've done. They have to work hand in hand with your insurance company if you have any roof damage. But if you want a reduction in your auto renewal, that might happen here because they've actually had some price reductions with American Family with the auto policies. I saw that on my bill because this is my insurance agent right here, Michael Long. He'll get you covered throughout the Hoosier state, and he's got products in Kentucky and I think 8 other states. They can insure a lot of different stuff. 812-578-3072. You can go to amfam.com and search Michael Long. Tell him I sent you. There you can see all the ways to contact him and level up your career and get the dual credit if you're in high school, if you can possibly do that and get those dual credit. My son's working a little bit harder this year in some of the college courses as a junior in high school, but getting the free credits thanks to IB Tech. Save my daughter thousands of dollars as well. But it is Tuesday. That means it is Tuesdays at the Tech. You can go right to the location, Sellersburg, Highway 311 at I-65, 9 miles north of Louisville is where you'll find their campus. You can also find a ton of information here online. What is Tuesdays at the Tech? Well, you can register and get in-person assistance on how to get started, registering for classes, career development, paying for college, and all of that fun stuff. And you can get a lot of job postings you can take a look at here with Libs Paving. They're not a fan of the rain. They need some dry weather to continue their jobs. But there you can see at libspaving.com, there might be an opportunity for you to check out. If you want a paycheck, there you go. Again, thanks to all of our partners. Taking another live look at the gloomy conditions here outside of Extol Media Studios. That's what we're dealing with here for today. Vicky giving us some encouragement with some good jokes for today. We always like to lighten it up a little bit. Don't want to take ourselves too seriously, right? One last look at the radar, and that's going to wrap things up for it. Why don't we do extolmag.com live radar, shall we? This is the big interactive map. And boy, does that look wet. And the heaviest for all the counties along and north and just south of the Ohio River. And so we have all of the rain that's on top of us now, that blob. And then we've got the tailing cold front that could give us a few leftover showers into the evening time. But I think we're going to get a bit of a break, especially late afternoon before maybe a couple of early evening showers. So there's the really wet stuff, the bullseye really right on top of us here. You can also plop on any alerts if we had them. There is a flood advisory that I'm popping on right here. You can click on that, and it's going to give you a lot more information. This flood advisory in effect until 2:45 p.m. And there you can see for South Central Indiana, this includes Clark, Crawford, Floyd, Harrison, Perry. And then in Kentucky, we have Breckenridge, Bullitt, Hancock, Hardin, Jefferson, Meade, Nelson, Ohio, Oldham, Shelby, Spencer counties. So we're talking about the potential of some minor flooding in low-lying areas and poor drainage areas, ponding of water in urban and other areas is occurring or is imminent. Turn around, don't drown, don't try to test out those flooded waters. Most flood deaths occur in vehicles. So that is the one alert that we have right now. That is a very large flood advisory. And again, this is a look at the alerts, the clickable alerts, interactive radar here at extolmag.com. So easy and free to use right there. Thank you guys so much for tuning in here on an active Tuesday morning. We'll talk more about the more kind of a little bit of October chill on the way tomorrow morning for your October the 8th, Wednesday morning. It's shaping up, again, fantastic for the rest of this week and for Harvest Homecoming. All right, that'll do it. We'll see you same time, same place, tomorrow morning. It's Ben at 10. Thanks for joining us on my page, Meteorologist Ben Peine, P-E-I-N-E, Extol Weather on Facebook, Extol Media on YouTube. Thanks for liking, subscribing, getting those notifications, and extolmag.com/weather online. Have a good one. Try to stay dry out there.